of February 1964, Cassius Clay shocked the world when he stopped the seemingly invincible Sonny Liston to win the world heavyweight title.
They might be stopping it. That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring.
The following day, he shocked America by announcing he had joined a radical separatist black organization, the Nation of Islam.
Clay had first come into contact with the Nation of Islam not long after he won Olympic gold, but he or his advisors, I'm not quite sure, perhaps it was the Nation of Islam, they were happy, he was happy to play a low key and keep that fairly secret, enter meetings through the back door. The suggestion is that the Muslims were quite happy to keep it low key too, because they thought Liston would knock Clay out, which would not have been a good advertisement for their cause.
I think it must have turned a certain amount of people against him, but a lot of people didn't really know what Muslims were all about, and so it was a little bit ignorance on a lot of people's behalf, but a lot of people did look on it as a sinister force that he had joined.
They couldn't come to terms with someone wanting to change their name, and it didn't occur to them that what Ali saw as a slave name, that was it, to them that was his name.
Having been given the name Muhammad Ali by the Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad, the new champion prepared for a rematch with Liston. The mood surrounding the rematch was tense. Death threats had been made against Ali in the wake of the Malcolm X assassination. Despite this, Ali kept a high public profile, albeit surrounded by bodyguards. The Liston fight was delayed 6 months, while Ali had a hernia operation. This was bad news for Liston. The 6-month break allowed Ali time to mature, while Liston, or the Bear, as Ali called him, was getting older.
Well, after we get the bear, we will go after the hare.
And who's the hare?
The hare is the rabbit, Floyd Patterson.
The former heavyweight champion, and now the challenger, Sonny Liston.
Liston was a 9-5 favorite to regain his title, while Ali was given a hostile reception by the crowd.
The heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Clay takes the lead at the start. As he did the night he won the title, Clay uses the ring, makes Liston look slow.
Immediately, the rematch took on a familiar look, with the dancing Ali continually eluding the pursuing Liston. But not long into round 1 came one of boxing's most controversial moments.
Liston in the black trunks is pursuing the fleet-footed champion all over the ring. Liston wants to get this fight over very quickly. Keep an eye on Clay's lightning-fast right hand. A short, juicing right to the jaw, and Liston goes down. The champion refuses to go to the neutral corner, and referee Joe Walcott tries to push Clay away. Liston still hasn't heard a number and doesn't have the slightest idea what the count is. Liston arises at the count of 14, and Walcott wipes his glove. Jersey Joe is still looking over at the official timer. The fight continues when Walcott leads.
The fight had been delayed for Ali to have a hernia operation. Liston was favored to avenge his defeat. The punch that finished Liston became known as the Phantom Punch. Some cried fix, believing that such a blow could not have knocked Liston out.
No, I think it was a legitimate punch. It was the corkscrew punch that put him down. And Jersey Joe Walcott, who was the referee, a former heavyweight champion himself, actually lost the count, and Liston was down for 14 seconds. When Liston got to his feet, he let the fight briefly carry on, but then stopped it.
Ali, in that second Liston fight, only threw 3 punches of any consequence, and the third one knocked Liston out. And it was so quick that a lot of observers missed it. And it's the sort of thing that if you convince yourself that it wasn't a fair dinkum punch, you can watch the video and almost convince yourself of that. But if you watch Liston's feet, what I think that reveals is that Liston just didn't see it coming. And so he went down. The thing that I'm not too sure, and I'm saying this solely by watching the video, is whether Liston could have got up. But I do think that punch convinced Sonny Liston that he was never going to beat Ali. And perhaps he decided that he'd stay down rather than get up and be embarrassed.
Fix or fair fight aside, Liston was finished, and the world heavyweight champion was the man now known as Muhammad Ali. The name may have changed, but the talk was the same after former champion Floyd Patterson was announced as Ali's next challenger.
I have a habit of labeling my fighters. You know, a rabbit is an animal that's scared of his own shadow. A rabbit is an animal that if you pin him in a corner, he'll freeze and he won't be able to move. That's why I call Patterson a rabbit, because he has the characteristic of a rabbit. Sonny Liston looked at him hard and he froze in both fights, just like a rabbit. This will be a mismatch. Floyd Patterson will be no match. He's too short. He's too slow. He don't have the reach. He can't take a punch. He don't hit hard. And he don't have the footwork.
A favorite of the establishment, the Catholic convert Patterson had enraged Ali by calling him a disgrace to his race and the black Muslims a scourge. Patterson promised to bring the title back to America. As part of Ali's pre-fight campaign, he turned up at Patterson's training gym with lettuce and carrots, rabbit food.
Let him train. I don't want to mess with your trainer. I just want you to know that from now on, you are the rabbit.
Though increasingly unpopular, Ali drew a celebrity crowd, many of them hoping to see him put in his place.
Floyd Patterson had been the youngest boxer to ever win the heavyweight title. He won the title by knocking out Archie Moore, 5 rounds, and he fought Ali. The fight was fairly evenly contested for many of the rounds.
Right from the very start, the pattern of fighting goes just as predicted. The champion just moves, dances, glides, and slides, hides behind a good left jab, and keeps his opponent off balance almost all the time, just spinning him away. Floyd is content to plod right on top of the champion, move right after him, flat-footed stance. In fact, the big surprise came early for the fans in the stands, because Patterson picked up a point lead in round number 1.
The first half of the fight continued in similar fashion, with a dogged Patterson probing for a way through Ali's lightning-fast defense. The 6th round saw the champion begin to assert his dominance.
Floyd moving forward is still not the aggressor in this round, or in this fight. When he puts those punches together, look out, brother. This man fires in every direction. jab, right uppercut, left hook. Lots of damage. In number 10, Floyd is staying in there on sheer courage, on gameness. A beaten fighter. Floyd found it very hard to slip that fast left lead. Note that in Patterson's corner, they're practically lifting him up for this 12th round. This is the beginning of the end for the challenger. It's almost all over. Firing more uppercuts, more jabs right now than 2 or 3 rounds earlier. Champion continues to talk to the challenger, continues to be on target and on time. The referee looking in closely at Floyd, close to the end. Stops the fight. 2 minutes, 18 seconds of round 12. TKO. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, beats Floyd Patterson to remain heavyweight champion of all the boxing world.
In 1966, the Vietnam War was escalating. More men were needed, so the conscription rules were relaxed. Muhammad Ali was called up but refused induction into the army. A conscientious objector on religious grounds, Ali stated famously that he had no quarrel with no Viet Cong. Effectively banned from fighting in the United States, Ali went to Toronto to take on the Canadian champion George Chuvalo. Chuvalo was a tough, bruising fighter who was never knocked off his feet in a long professional career.
George Chuvalo, who Muhammad Ali called the washerwoman, was best known for his durability. He's a tremendously tough guy. When he fought Ali, he only knew one direction, that was straight forward. George took the fight up to Ali, and though he was never in the fight, he never looked like being stopped or even dropped it on any occasion. So he pushed Ali the distance in that first fight.
Bell for round 1.
the champion. That one connected. And a good jab. The champion has a stunning type of jab.
In the first round, Ali displayed a tendency that would come back to haunt him in later fights. He took punches he didn't need to take. He taunted Chuvalo, daring him to hit harder, seemingly to prove his own toughness.
Chuvalo will hammer to the body at every opportunity. He wants to wear down the legs of the champion. We're halfway through round one. Good right hook by the champion on Chuvalo's face. The champ is connecting solidly with the right jab. Clay was out early at the 10-second whistle. Now he makes a face at the referee, and here they come for round three.
In round three, Ali began to find his range against the tough Canadian fighter.
The champ is determined now to display his boxing skills. Very fast with hands and feet. Possibly the fastest heavyweight of all time in that department. He's scoring consistently with the left jab. Clay. Chuvalo will just try to pull his way forward and get back to the body.
determined to get that one big punch in on the champion.
There have been no knockdowns today. No knockdowns.
Less than his best against the durable Chuvalo, though he's in control of the fight.
That was the Canadian's best body attack. He had him a little bit open there. There is a swelling around the left eye of George Chuvalo.
In the later rounds, Ali, although still not at his best, looks to up the pace against Chuvalo and searches for the combination that will put the challenger down.
13. Chuvalo knows if he could hit him that one deathly shot, he'd be seconds away from fame and fortune. The bell ending, round 13. This is it, the 15th round coming up.
Coming into the last round, Chuvalo is battered but not bound. The great Ali has been unable to put him on the canvas, and unless he does so now, will need to rely on the judge's decision. Was a grazing blow. Two minutes to go. By Chuvalo. One minute to go in the fight. 1 minute left. To go in the fight. 30 seconds. It's all over. Here's the official decision, ladies and gentlemen. The winner, Muhammad Ali. Observers felt that Ali looked distracted against Chuvalo. Pressure was mounting in the United States for him to be jailed for refusing induction into the army, and this lay heavily on the champion during the fight.